Welcome back to my channel. So today I will be sharing with you my journey on how I became interested in dogs and my love for them. So once upon a time when I was a little girl, I used to be very afraid of dogs. Like when I say very afraid, I mean really afraid of dogs. I remember one time when I was riding my bike. I was just riding in the neighborhood, just riding, minding my own business, having a good time. And then lo and behold, out of the corner of my eye, I see this big, fluffy white dog. And, looking back now, maybe it wasn't that big, but you have to remember, in the eyes of a little girl, that dog looked big. It was huge. And so here I am, I'm riding my bike, and this dog comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I try to ride fast, and I'm pedaling as fast as my little legs will take me, only to turn around and look behind me. He's right there. And so I said to myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I didn't know what to do. I was so scared out of my mind. I remember trying to ride around the neighborhood, and he was just right there, right behind me. I was going down this little, how do you call it, like a little hill. And as I'm going down this hill, I'm thinking I got away from him, and then I turned back again, one more time, only to notice he's right there. And so I said to myself, this is it, it's over. He's going to attack me. It's done. My life is over right now. And so I try to ride as fast as I can, only to fall off my bike because I was so scared. My hands were trembling. I'm here holding on to the bars of the bike so hard, and I'm trying to pedal, and then I fall off the bike. And the dog came towards me, and I just freaked out. And thankfully, I don't know what happened to him. He went away. That was one time though. Then there was another incident. Again, there was I went to the neighborhood playground. And I was just playing, minding my own business, not really doing anything. And then I see the same dog just going after other kids. And so I said, I got to get out of here. So I remember trying to run to my house and trying to just get away. But I was just so terrified because I just didn't know at the time. All I could think of was, man, that's a big dog. What is he going to do to me? So I was scared. So, I remember having these kind of memories and saying to myself, well, what do they want? Why do they keep chasing? What is it that he wants? And ever since then, it's just this fear. Like, it started creeping up over me. Any dog from that point on, it didn't matter if it was small. It didn't matter if it was big. If it runs fast or it tries to come near me or tries to smell me, I don't know what their intentions are. So in my head, all I want to do is flee the situation. But the more I try to flee, the more they follow me. And that kept happening over and over and over until somebody told me, hey, you know what? If you try to leave, they think, something's going on with you. They're going to want to follow you. So it's better that you just stand there. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But I just remember standing there just feeling so tense. I just be like, oh, just get away from me. In my head, I remember thinking that. Get away from me. I had no desire to have any interaction with dogs. I know some people are really inclined, then they see the dog, oh, so cute, and then they go and they pet him. But for me, I'm telling you, I was not like that. I was just like, okay, fine. If the dog wants to smell me, all right, fine. But I just trying to get away. I had no inclination to pet. I actually even thought to myself, why do even people like to pet these things? Like, what's the purpose? Why? What satisfaction, gratification do you get out of petting a dog? Okay. So as I'm journeying through life, I just remember having these thoughts, and I've had friends that have dogs, and it was the same thing. I just remember thinking to myself, I'll just stay here in my corner, you stay over there, everybody's good. It's not that I didn't like them, but again, it's just that my first experience with a dog wasn't a good one. It wasn't a positive one because I just remember being chased by one. So, fast forward, as I got a little bit older, My family, we had a pet dog because one of my siblings wanted one. Not me. I was scared. I was a scared one. But I remember having that small interaction with the dog and thinking to myself, okay, not that bad. It was a Siberian Husky. And so I said, all right, watched him grow up from little pup to, he got a little bit older and, so I think that experience slightly changed my perspective on what I thought dogs were about and, if they were going to hurt you or not. And he never hurt me. I just remember him being super playful, just wanting to run, having a lot of energy. But at the time, I was young. I was like a kid, I don't know, like elementary grade or maybe around that time. No, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit older because the white dog, I was like elementary grade. So Siberian Husky, I was more junior high grade, I would say. But even still, it wasn't my desire. I had no inclination, didn't really care to have a pet dog. So fast forward, that was the end of that story. So fast forward, from that time on, I had, once again, no interaction with dogs. Yeah, so I felt like as time went on, the less interaction I had with dogs, I started noticing that fear started creeping back up inside me of, man, again, what is the dog's intention? What do they want? And then I started feeling like, you know what? I went back to how I thought when I was a kid. Like I have no desire to be around them. So fast forward from that situation, I never really thought to myself, okay, I'm going to have a dog in the future, or maybe I try again and have a dog, a pet dog. And, because I think in my head I was done. I was done with it. I just didn't have any desire to want to do. So yeah, in my head, I just thought to myself, what's the point? So yeah, I thought that's how my life was going to be up until I met Jordan and Toby. And this is why in my first intro video, I mentioned that I credit my love for dogs to Jordan and Toby. So check out that intro video. I'm going to link it above. Then you can kind of see a little bit of what I was talking about at that time. But I remember when I first met Jordan and Toby, it was the same thing. It was a few years back. It was the same thing. I thought to myself, okay, no real desire to really want a dog per se, but my husband, he had 2 dogs. So what was I going to tell him? No, we're not going to have a dog. I mean, they're part of his life. So I naturally just said, okay. I was open-minded about it just because I had a previous experience with our own family pet when I was younger. So I said, how bad could it be? So I was open-minded to the idea. And then at that time, that's where I had no idea that this was going to be the start to a love for dogs that I never even knew I had. And so I remember that when my husband and I, we got married and I met Jordan and Toby. I mean, I met them before that time, but what I'm saying is now they're with us full time. And just from the first day they were here, I just remember thinking to myself, wow, something about them, very special, so amazing. And that's when I started just saying to myself, okay, maybe this isn't that bad. I had an open mind. I did do research on their type of breeds to see, what their needs are, to kind of just get a better feel of who they were before I had my full-time interaction with them. So I think that helped me, so that's what kind of got me thinking, okay, let me get to know them in the sense of their breed. What are their needs? Are they high energy? But of course, every dog is not the same just because they're the same breed. I understand that every dog has its own personality. So as I got to spend more time with them, I just started seeing their personality and I started noticing, wow, I was very drawn to them. Immediately, I was very drawn to them. I was very curious. Like I remember I would observe them when I would take them out to go bathroom, or when I first started to walk them, I was very observant of the little things that they do. As simple as before they go to the bathroom, why do they turn around in a circle? Before they go and do number two. Or why, when we're outside, why do they lay on the grass and kind of just like rub their back on the grass? What do these things mean? Or when we'd be indoors and either Jordan or Toby would look up at me, and depending on the kind of look that they give me, or if they put their paw on me, what do these things mean? Or when they rub up against my leg, does that mean that they're trying to show a sign of affection? Do they want to be held? Maybe they want to be cuddled in that moment, or maybe they just want to be petted. I didn't know what any of these things mean. And that's just to name a few, because from that point on, I started thinking to myself in terms of like food. So what food is actually really good for them? Store-bought food, homemade food. How often should they be drinking water? How often should they be going on walks? So that's what I'm trying to say, is that because of them, I started doing research because I became very curious. Like, what can I do to give them the best possible life that they have? The best quality of life? What can I personally do? How can I contribute? My husband raised them. He did a wonderful job. But now that they're in our home, I thought to myself, what can I do? And what can I do to strengthen the bond between me and them on a daily basis? Or playtime. What does that look like? What kind of things do they like? Not every dog likes every toy. We have some toys here, and I just remember the different toys that maybe Toby likes that Jordan's just not interested, or vice versa. And so I just really was like, wow, these guys are special. These guys really, the amount of love, oh, don't even get me started on that. The unconditional love that these guys show on a daily basis, I had never experienced that before with a human, let alone a dog. Because remember, as I mentioned, the interaction I had with our pet dog, the Siberian Husky, I was young. I was very inexperienced. I had a different mindset then. I was very, afraid, wasn't really sure what to do. So I'm grateful I had that experience, because if it wasn't for that experience of even just having that window of opportunity to see a pup grow, to like a young adult, that was helpful. It helped give me a base on my view of what I think dogs need. So that's why when it came to Jordan and Toby, although they're in their young adult years, I was still very interested in finding out, who are they? What are they about? What are their intentions? What do they need? And so because of that and the researching I started doing, and just to train them on different things, just leash walking and, proper leash walking, just things like that, I started just realizing that, man, through all of these interactions that I have with them, it literally was building a bond with them, in a bond that I just never knew how deep it could go. As time went on, when I started seeing Jordan and Toby look up at me and just kind of, it's almost like they have this, like, their eyes show just that they're content, they're happy. By seeing that also made me just feel like good. Like I felt like I was actually doing something right. I was doing something good. And it gave me a lot of satisfaction, a lot of gratification, to the point where before we were taking them to the groomers to get groomed. And even then I just said to myself, my heart would start to break every time my husband and I would go and drop off the dogs at the groomers, and just seeing how sometimes they would shake, or they wanted to stay near us and they wanted us to hold them. It broke my heart. And I told my husband, I said, no, I said, babe, I think we need to do something different here. And then because of that, that's why I started becoming interested in learning how to groom them. So I started to groom them. I'm still in the process of learning. I'm not an expert. Anything that I share in this channel is just based on my experience. I'm not going to claim to be an expert of dog training or cooking dog food. It's things that I've learned and things that I see have worked in our home with our dogs. And so that's why I'm here sharing it with you guys. As time goes on, I'm going to share more videos. It's just I'm trying to get used to the YouTube and uploading and learning how to just work the camera and remembering to actually use the camera, because I'm just used to being with the dogs, just us, one-on-one, that I'm not always thinking, okay, let me just take the camera and record. So you will see more videos come. Apologize for there being so much space in between each video that's being uploaded, but in time I'm going to get used to this groove and you'll start seeing more things come up. But for now, I just wanted to share with you just how I even became interested in dogs in general. And that's why I said in my intro video, I credit my love for dogs to Jordan and Toby. These guys are amazing. These guys are lovable. These guys have really awakened something inside of me that I never knew I had. I never knew I had a love for dogs as deep as I do until I met them. Yeah, I mean, our family pet dog that we had, I remember being protective of him too. I remember for what I know now that I didn't know before, Siberian Huskies are runners. You open the door, what they're going to do? They're going to bolt. They're runners. They're always trying to explore. They're always trying to, see what's out there. They're very adventurous. I didn't know that. I didn't know that back then. But I just remember being young at that time and, our guy, he would just run, run, run. And so I remember chasing him because my fear was like, oh my goodness, he's going to run into the road and get hit by a car. So I remember things like that. But now that I'm older and I have a different interaction with Jordan and Toby, my mind has shifted. I'm no longer afraid. I'm actually the kind of person that anytime we see a dog, I'm more interested in going towards them to just see, well, who are you, right? Like sometimes we'll go for walks here around the neighborhood and other people are walking their dogs. People that maybe I haven't met yet, or people that I have met, I'll definitely want to go and like interact with their dog, or give Jordan and Toby an opportunity to interact with them, because I do see the benefit in our guys interacting with other dogs. There's a lot of benefit of that. Dogs are social, just like us humans. We're social too. So it gives me the opportunity to meet another person and another dog that I don't have a lot of interaction with, and it's a different breed. So I'm always interested to find out through the owner, well, okay, tell me more about your dog. And then, ironically, I am that person now that goes and pets the dog, right? From before, I didn't really realize or understand, why do people do that? I do that now. Now I get it. Respectfully, if the owner's okay with it, and then I see that the dog is open to it, because that's another thing you have to remember. Not every dog is inclined or wants to be pet. That's just not how every dog is. That's a misconception to think that, oh, it's a dog, let me go pet them. No, you have to respectfully approach a dog, and then through the interaction with the dog, you'll know that, okay, they're open to being pet. How do I know? It's because I, again, have done research, and then also through my own experience with different dogs that I've met. When they come to me, it's the same thing. I allow them to come to me, smell me, get to know who I am, and then sometimes some dogs will not, rub their head on my leg, and that's when I know, okay, they're okay. They're okay with me petting them. So that's different things that I'll talk about in the future, how to approach dogs, the need of a dog, how to bathe a dog. So yeah, that's future videos to come. But for now, I'm just really grateful that I've had this opportunity to be able to be around two wonderful dogs full time. Jordan, he's a Maltese mixed poodle. Toby, he's a bichon frise, and they are small. People think they're twins. They're not. They are small, but they're different in their own ways. They have their own personality, but they're lovable. And so I am just, all that to say, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I had this opportunity to really be around them full time, to take care of them. It's my pleasure to take care of them. And then actually now we have another little guy, Milo. He's a Pomeranian mixed toy poodle. So you see, he's a different breed. And because he's a different breed, I've learned a lot about Pomeranians, about toy poodles that I didn't know before. And just because they're all small dogs, people think they're the same. No, they're not. They're different breeds and they have different personalities. And you'll start seeing that too as I start recording more. You can definitely see the different personalities. But what I could definitely sum up this video and say is that they're all amazing. They're amazing in their own ways. I love them dearly. Those are my boys. It's like as time has gone on, I can't even imagine my life without them. And that's crazy to say now, because back in the day, I would have never said that because I had no desire, none whatsoever, to be around any dogs. But now I love them so much. Sometimes I even tell my husband, oh, I want another one, you know. But it's only because I just love them so much. I'm just interested in interacting with them, raising them. And so here's another thing. Now that we got Milo, Milo's 3 months old. I actually have the opportunity now to raise a pup from young with the knowledge that I have now up until he gets older. And for me, that makes me happy because now I can share information that I didn't know before. You know, I have information on how to be around young adult dogs with Jordan and Toby, but to actually now have different information that I didn't know I didn't have before, it's also important too. So yeah, guys, listen, to have a dog really is amazing. And it's not even just to have one, to have two, even three. It's amazing. Now, I would just say the more dogs, the merrier. The more dogs, yes, it makes your life that much more interesting. But be wise in your choice. Be wise, meaning that if you don't have the time for a dog, don't get one. If you're not going to put in the work to raise them properly, don't get one. And what I mean by that is training, because training really consists of consistency, right? And if you're not willing to put in the time or the work, then don't get it. Because it's not just about, oh, a dog's so cute, oh, so nice. No, this is a life that if you don't raise properly, if you don't train from young, you will have a disaster in the future. And I would hate for a dog to end up in the pound or end up in some, shelter just because all of a sudden it got too hard, right? So that's all I wanted to share at this moment. Just be wise in your choice. Understand that every dog's life matters, meaning that if you're not willing to invest in them, then it's just better to just leave them alone. Leave them alone. So guys, listen, that's my journey. That's my story. If I forgot something to share right now, I'll definitely add it in a future video. But I have a strong love for dogs like no other. I love dogs so much that, listen, I welcome the opportunity to meet any dog now. I'm open, small or large. Oh man, that's also another story too, but that'll be for future to come. There were some neighborhood dogs here that were kind of running around, big dogs. One of them was a husky mix pit bull. The other one was a German shepherd. But that's another story for the future, guys. I love dogs regardless of size, regardless of breeds. And if I could have more, trust me, I would, because I definitely will put the time into them. I love them. I want them to have the best life possible. And I don't know how many times now I said that I love them. So that goes to show you, I really, really, really care for dogs in a way that, again, I never knew I could care for. So that's my journey. That's my story. Looking back on what I know today, just to bring this video to a close, is that when I was a little girl, pedaling fast on the bike, running or trying to pedal away from that big, flat, fluffy white dog, what I realized now that I didn't know before is that the more I pedaled away, the more the dog thought that I was just playing with him. He really wasn't going to hurt me. He was not going to do anything to me. He's not vicious, because I actually know the difference now between a vicious dog and a playful dog. So no, he didn't show teeth. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't even barking at me. All he was doing was just running with me. So if anything, he thought I was just trying to play. But I didn't know that. Had I known that back then, I would have handled the situation differently. And the same for the Siberian Husky that we had when I was younger. Same thing. the reason why he was dashing outside is because I didn't know that Siberian Huskies had a lot of, they have high energy. Those kind of dogs are working dogs. Those are the kind of dogs that will pull sleds. They will, you got to give them a task. They have a lot of energy that they need to burn. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that back in the day. So these are the things that if you get a dog and you don't know what it actually takes to raise one, what it actually takes to meet their needs, their mental, their physical needs, you will run into problems, a lot of problems. And a lot of these things could be avoided if only you just take the time and seek the knowledge. So that's all I got to share with you guys today. Knowledge is key. So, as always, this is what I'm about now. This is who I am. I will definitely claim I am a dog lover to the core. So if you want to stay tuned for more videos, continue checking out my channel. But as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe.